There was a time in my life when I thought that everything had ended. I felt like the world had come crashing down around me. My dreams were shattered, my body broken, and my soul weary. But in that moment of stillness, when there was nothing left to hold on to, no movement, no strength, I discovered something far greater than anything I had ever known. I discovered the power of my mind. You see, we live in a world that loves to put people in boxes: rich, poor, successful, failed, able, disabled. And somewhere along the way, we begin to believe that our worth is tied to these labels. But what if I told you that the richest people I have met were not those who had the biggest bank accounts, but those who carried the strongest minds? A poor mindset says, I can't. A rich mindset asks, how can I? A poor mindset waits for permission. A rich mindset creates its own path. When we think of the term rich, we often reduce it to material possessions: cars, houses, luxury, bank balances. But true richness, the kind that endures, is rooted in how we think, how we respond to life, how we rise after falling. It is about how we choose to see ourselves when everything around us tells us we are nothing. I remember lying in that hospital bed, surrounded by silence, by pain, by uncertainty. I couldn't move, couldn't sit, couldn't even breathe without feeling the sting of reality piercing through my ribs. And yet, even in that moment of helplessness, a voice within me whispered, you still have a choice. You can give up or you can grow. That was the moment I realized that poverty of the mind is far more dangerous than poverty of the pocket. There are people who have everything: health, money, status, but still feel empty. And there are those who have lost so much yet wake up each day with a smile, with a purpose, with an unshakable faith that life has something beautiful in store for them. What sets them apart is not their circumstances, it's their mindset. A poor mindset is filled with excuses. I can't do this because I don't have enough support. I will never succeed because no one believes in me. I don't have the money, the education, the connections. But the rich mindset, oh, it speaks a different language. I will try even if I fail. I will learn even if I stumble. I will rise even if I fall. The rich mindset is not delusional, it is determined. It knows that success is not an overnight event. It understands that hardship is not the end, but the beginning of something greater. I have met children in refugee camps who have nothing but dreams in their eyes. I have met women who have lost everything, but still choose to stand tall with dignity. These people, to me, are the richest souls on earth. They don't wait for miracles, they become the miracle. They don't wait for someone to save them, they learn to save themselves. It breaks my heart to see how easily we give up on ourselves. One failure and we tell ourselves we're not good enough. One rejection and we stop trying. But you see, the rich mindset doesn't let failure define them. They let it refine them. They understand that every setback is simply a setup for a stronger comeback. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. No, life isn't always kind. It hurts, it breaks, it tests you. But mindset is the lens through which you view that pain. With a poor mindset, pain becomes the end of the story. With a rich mindset, pain becomes the beginning of purpose. Let me ask you something. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see a victim or a warrior? Do you see someone who is stuck or someone who is just starting out? Because that's where the difference lies. It's not in the external world. It's not in your background or your job title or the zeros in your bank account. It is in the way you see yourself when no one else is looking. And once you change that lens from why me to try me, everything changes. I have sat across people who have told me, Muniba, you are so lucky to be where you are. And I smile, not because I agree, but because I know how far I've come. I know the sleepless nights, the endless pain, the moments of despair. But I also know that it was not luck. It was mindset. It was waking up every morning and choosing to fight even when I didn't feel strong. That's what rich people do. Not the ones with yachts and villas, but the ones with fire in their hearts. They don't wait for the world to change. They start by changing themselves. They don't blame their past, they build from it. They don't focus on what they lack, they use what they have. You don't need perfect conditions to start. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't need a fancy title or a platform. What you need is the belief that you are capable of more. That your current situation is not your final destination. It begins in the mind. And when your mind believes, your actions follow. Your habits change, your energy shifts, and eventually your reality transforms. I have learned that your story is not written in ink. It is written in courage. You can rewrite it anytime, but first, you must free yourself from the belief that you are stuck, that you are small, that you are unworthy. You are not poor, you are powerful. You are not broken, you are becoming. And no matter what the world says, remember this. Your greatest asset is not what you own, it's how you think. Because when your mind is rich, the world becomes a canvas, and you, my friend, become the artist of your destiny. I've often been asked, Muniba, how did you survive all that pain and loss with such grace? And my answer is simple: gratitude. Gratitude became the bridge between what I had lost and what I still had. It became the light that shone in the darkest corners of my life. Gratitude was not just a feeling, it became a mindset. And that mindset changed everything. You see, we live in a world that teaches us to chase more money, more success, more recognition. But very few are taught to pause and appreciate what we already have. We think we need more to be happy. We say, when I get that job, I'll be grateful. When I have a bigger house, then I'll feel satisfied. When people start recognizing me, then I'll feel seen. But the truth is, if you are not grateful for what you have now, you will never be grateful for what you receive later. Gratitude is the difference between a rich and a poor mindset. A poor mindset looks around and sees what's missing. A rich mindset looks within and sees what's present. I remember waking up in a hospital room after the accident. I had lost control of my body. My spine was crushed. My dreams of becoming an artist seemed distant, almost impossible. I could not even sit without help. Everything I had once taken for granted, walking, dancing, even holding a brush, had been taken away from me. And yet, in the quiet of that sterile hospital room, I found something priceless. I still had my voice. I still had my heart. And I still had my dreams. And when I started to focus on those things, no matter how small they seemed, I began to heal, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. Gratitude opened my eyes to a new way of living. It taught me that even in pain, there is purpose. Even in loss, there is something left to be thankful for. The poor mindset says, why don't I have more? The rich mindset says, how can I make the most of what I have? It's not about ignoring hardship. It's not about pretending everything is okay when it's not. No, it's about looking that hardship in the eye and saying, you will not steal my joy. It's about choosing to celebrate the little things even when the big things fall apart. There were days I couldn't move at all. I had to rely on others for everything, eating, turning, even breathing sometimes. And yet, I started to focus on what I could do. I could smile, I could listen, I could think, and slowly I began to rebuild a life that no longer depended on what I had lost, but instead thrived on what I had left. This is what a rich mindset does. It multiplies what's already within you. I've met children who share a single notebook between them, yet show up to school with sparkling eyes. I've met people with physical disabilities who still dance with more soul than anyone I've ever seen. I've met women who have been silenced for years, yet speak with fire once given the chance. What do these people have in common? They don't focus on the void, they focus on the value. Gratitude is not a reaction, it's a decision, a choice we make every day. We either choose to dwell on what we don't have, or we choose to rise with appreciation for what we do. And when we make the latter choice consistently, something powerful happens. We become magnets for abundance. Abundance is not always about money. It's about joy, love, peace, resilience. And the beautiful irony is that once you start being grateful for what you have, more naturally flows into your life. Why? Because your energy shifts, your focus changes. You become more aware, more open, more in tune with the blessings that are already surrounding you. You begin to see that you don't need more to feel rich, you just need to see more of what's already there. I remember a time when I was asked to speak at an event. I was nervous. I felt unprepared. I felt small. But before stepping on that stage, I reminded myself, be grateful. Be grateful for this moment. Be grateful for the chance to speak, to inspire, to be heard. And when I stepped onto that stage, something beautiful happened. My fear turned into power. My uncertainty turned into presence. All because I chose gratitude. A poor mindset waits for the perfect moment to be thankful. A rich mindset makes every moment worth thanking. It's easy to be grateful when life is going well. But the real test is how you respond when everything falls apart. Do you complain? Do you curse the universe? Or do you whisper thank you even through your tears? I've learned that gratitude is not about denying pain. It's about embracing life in its fullness. It's saying, yes, I am hurting, but I am still here. I still have breath. I still have a chance. And in that simple realization lies immense power. You begin to understand that true wealth is not in what you accumulate. It's in what you appreciate. It's in being fully present with your loved ones. It's in watching the sunrise and realizing you get another day to live. It's in holding someone's hand and knowing that connection is the most valuable currency of all. I once met a man who had lost his entire business, yet he told me, I still have my family. I still have my faith. And that means I haven't lost everything. That, my friends, is a rich mindset. We must stop measuring our lives by what we lack. That's the trap of a poor mindset. Always chasing, always comparing, always wanting. But a grateful heart doesn't need to chase. It shines, it glows, and it gives. Because when you are full of gratitude, you become a source of light for others. And sometimes that light is exactly what someone else needs to see the beauty in their own life. So today, look around you. Look within you. What are the things you've taken for granted? What are the small miracles you've overlooked? What are the gifts that are quietly holding you together? Because when you start seeing those things, not just once in a while, but every day, you will start to live not just a successful life, but a deeply meaningful one. And that, I promise you, is the richest life of all. There is a kind of strength that doesn't roar. It doesn't shout from rooftops. It whispers in the silence, try again. It speaks softly through the tears, get up. That strength doesn't come from money, fame, or a perfect life. It comes from falling again and again and choosing to rise every single time. That is the true essence of a rich mindset. It's not defined by how many times you win, but by how many times you refuse to give up. People often look at success as a straight road. They think those who achieve great things are somehow different, stronger, smarter, luckier. But I want to tell you something honest and raw. Behind every smile you see, there is a story you don't know. Behind every success, there is a trail of failures, of heartbreaks, of silent battles fought in the dark. The richest people in spirit are not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who kept going when everything inside them said stop. I remember my own battles, some so loud they echoed through my bones, others so quiet they lived only in my heart. After the accident that left me paralyzed, I was told I would never walk again. I was told my life would now be one of limitations. There were days I believed them. There were nights I cried myself to sleep wondering, why me? But somewhere along the way that question changed. It became, what now? And that shift, that moment of choosing to ask a different question, is the start of a rich mindset. You see, a poor mindset views struggle as the end. It sees failure as proof that you're not enough. It whispers, just stop, this is too hard, you'll never make it. But a rich mindset listens to a different voice, a voice that says, this is not the end. This is where you begin again. The richest person is not the one who never falls. It's the one who falls 1,000 times and still believes in the 1,001st rise. Resilience is the currency of the soul. And once you understand that, you stop measuring yourself by how quickly you succeed and start honoring yourself for how bravely you endure. Sometimes we think giving up is the easier path, and yes, in the short term, it is. It's easier to walk away than to keep going when the odds are against you, but here's the truth. Nothing beautiful ever grows from comfort. Growth comes from the moments that break you, from the nights when you can't see tomorrow, from the times you think your story is over, only to discover you are the author and you still have the pen. I have met incredible people who have faced unimaginable obstacles. Cancer survivors, single mothers raising children against all odds, people with disabilities who have turned their pain into purpose. What binds them all is not their success, but their refusal to surrender. They did not let failure define them. They let it refine them. One woman once told me, "I have failed more than I have succeeded, but my failures have taught me to walk stronger." That, to me, is the definition of a rich mindset. It's not about how far you've come. It's about how many times you dared to stand up after falling. We need to stop being afraid of failure. Failure is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. It shows you what doesn't work so you can discover what does. It humbles you, shapes you, prepares you. The richest mind is not afraid to fall because it understands that every fall brings you closer to your truth. You are not weak because you struggle. You are not broken because you feel pain. In fact, the people who appear the strongest on the outside are often the ones who've had to rebuild themselves from the inside, piece by piece. And every scar they carry is not a sign of defeat, but a badge of courage. When I first picked up a paintbrush again after my accident, my hands trembled. I doubted myself. I wondered if I would ever create anything meaningful. But I kept trying. I kept painting, stroke by stroke, failure by failure. And so my confidence returned. Not because I was perfect, but because I didn't stop. That's what resilience looks like. It's not glamorous, it's messy, it's emotional, it's painful, but it's also beautiful because it shows the world that you are not here just to survive, you are here to thrive. And let me remind you, you don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't need a stage to matter. You don't need applause to keep going. Sometimes your greatest victories will be silent. Getting out of bed when everything in you wants to hide, smiling through pain, trying again after failure. These are not small things. These are acts of deep personal bravery. So many people wait for the right time to start, to try, to begin again. But the truth is, the right time is a myth. There is only now, this moment, this breath, this choice. And when you choose to keep moving forward, even when it's hard, even when it feels impossible, you are already rich in spirit. I want you to look at yourself not through the lens of what you've lost, but through the lens of what you've overcome. Not through the mistakes you've made, but through the strength you've shown. Because that is who you truly are. Not your failure, but your fight. Not your setback, but your spirit. And that spirit, that willingness to keep going, is what sets the rich mindset apart. There will be moments when you feel alone. Moments when no one claps for you, when your dreams feel distant and your progress feels invisible. But don't let those moments trick you into thinking you're not enough. You are more than enough. Not because you've arrived, but because you've chosen to stay in the race, even when your legs feel weak. You see, the richest people I know are not always the loudest or the most recognized. They are the quiet warriors, the silent rebuilders, the gentle hearts with fierce determination, the ones who know that true success is not about having everything, but about never giving up on yourself. So fall if you must, cry if you need to, pause but don't quit. Because the richest person is not the one who never fell, it's the one who always rose again. And so when life tests you, when the road is steep and your spirit weary, remember this. Every time you rise after falling, you become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Your courage to continue even in silence is what truly defines you. You are not your failures. You are your fight. You are not your pain. You are your power. The richest mindset is not about what you have, but about who you become. And you, with every rise, are becoming someone truly extraordinary. Keep rising, keep believing, keep becoming. If you learned something new from this tutorial, don't forget to like and subscribe.